Hello and welcome to another video by Help You Excel. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a form so that the user can select which table they're pulling their information from. So if you have two tables with similar field names, data, then this will allow the user then to select which one they want to interact with without having to build separate forms for each table. So I'm using the Northwinds database as my sample, and to begin with I'm going to go form design, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bind this to one of my tables. The Northwinds database has an employees table and it also has a customers table, which have overlapping field names: first name, last name, email address. So instead of designing a form for each, this will only work for the fields they have in common, but for the fields they have in common, you can create one form to deal with both. So I want my combo box to be in the header, so I'm going to right click the detail section, go to form header, and sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to bind my table, my form, to one of the tables. I'm just going to do customers. I could do employees, it wouldn't matter. And then in the header, I'm going to put a combo box, and I'm just going to type two values, the two table names: customers, employees. Remember the value for later use. Not going to take time to make it pretty, just going to make it functional for now. I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to add in some existing fields. The two tables have these three fields in common, so I'm just going to add those in there. Now I'm going to add an event on the after update event. I'm going to write in some logic to make sure that there's actually a value. So what this is going to do, the NZ function says if this is null, then give me this value. And then I'm saying if that result is not empty set, then we're going to do this. So that just makes sure that if this field is empty, it doesn't try to run this code, because this code will break if you try to pass to it an empty value. me.record source equals me.cmb.value. So the record source property, first of all, I should explain, me refers to the form in which this code resides. This code is inside of the form that I just made. It's part of its class object code. So when I say me, all I'm doing is I'm referring to the form that I just created, and I'm saying me.recordSource. The record source property is this property here on the data tab, which tells it what table to bind the form to. So by changing the record source, it's going to change which table these fields are grabbing their values from. So all I have to do, one line of code, me.recordSource equals me.tablename.value. And those two values that I typed in here are the names of my two tables. So now if I open this in form view, it's going to default to whatever the table was that I bound. I did customers, so it's defaulting to that. You can see there's 29 rows. First row is Anna Bedix. If I change to the other one, now there's only 9 rows, and the first row is Nancy Freehofer. Okay, so allows you then, the user can select which table they want to interact with and it'll change the record source. Okay. Another thing you could do, instead of changing the actual record source of the table, is you could then change, instead of doing that, you could change options in another combo box depending on their selection. So I'm just going to call this, give this a name. Person, call it CMB person. I can't resist. I'm going to spend a second to make it a little prettier. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this code just a little bit. I'm going to put a stop here and make sure, I'm not sure I got all that right. So form view. So we choose customer. Select last name. No, that's still not right. Get this right. There we go. So basically all this is doing is it's going to change the SQL for my row source. And that's the wrong combo box. Dot person based on their selection. I'll explain that just a little bit more here in just a second. All right, so when I choose employees, it's going to feed the list of employees to this combo box. If I choose customers, it's going to feed the list of customers to this combo box. So let me just walk you through real quick what this is doing. So we're building a SQL statement based on their selection. Okay, my SQL statement is select last name and comma space first name from And then the table name is going to be whatever value they chose in that combo box. And then for my person combo box, the row source is going to become that new SQL statement. So it took a little finagling to get this SQL statement right, but it's just a few lines of code. So now if you choose customers, this is a list of customers. If you choose employees, this is a list of employees. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can use a user selection to change what table then the user is interacting with. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on the video. You can email me. I'll show you my email address again. You can email me at paul@huxl.com. Visit me on huxl.com. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.